Hello and welcome everybody back to Brianna's Bachelor Breakdown. I'm joined by two wonderful guests, David and Carson of the Run Amuck Podcast. They do an awesome Bachelor recap YouTube channel as well. And today we're doing some post Bachelor in Paradise season awards. So this is the second half of our award show. And we're gonna run through a couple of the season, best host, most likely returnee, worst and best moment. So we'll get to that in a second. And after you're done watching this video, make sure to go back to their channel and check out the first half of our show in which we did most valuable castmate, worst date, best rivalry, rookie of the year, and villain of the season. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll just give you guys a second to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, you want to go ahead, Coop?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Carson. Absolute pleasure to be here talking about our favorite show of all time. I know I speak for both David and I when we say we're absolutely thrilled to be on the podcast with Brianna. So thanks for having us.
Yeah, my name is David, and yeah, we're longtime fans of the show, and we could not be happier to just be collaborating with another channel that does an awesome job, crushes it on a weekly basis of covering the show. So yeah, we're pumped to be here.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. The first award we have is couple of the season. So this will go to the most beloved couple during the season, and who we also think will have the most post-show success. So David, I'll let you go ahead and get started.
Oh, sucks for you guys because I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna swipe it up. I'm going with Serena and Joe. I mean, they were the main characters of Paradise, in my opinion. And you mentioned it on our half of the episode, Coop. What an evolution from the start of the show. We have Serena at the end of the show saying, if someone told me at the beginning that I was going to be leaving here with grocery store Joe, I wouldn't be believing them. But even to look at Joe at the beginning of the season, he looks like he's in a romantic comedy. He's stepping out into the water, like just ready to let the waves take him. He was having like, I don't know, it looked like panic attacks. He was not in a great place. And to kind of see Serena not only be able to work through that, but to like carry him out of that a little bit. I don't know. It was a beautiful thing to see. So I'm going with Serena and Joe.
Okay, excellent. So I'll hand it to you next, Carson.
Okay. So obvious answer, I think, is for me anyways, would be Serena and Joe, but I'm going to go with a different couple. And I'm going to go with Riley and Marissa. And the reason I'm going to go with Riley and Marissa is because, as David kind of highlighted, Serena and Joe were like this quote unquote fairy tale couple, you know, from beginning to end, which was absolutely great. But I think because of that, sometimes it would cause them to kind of lay low, right? Because they weren't really too much incorporated in all the drama or things going on, which is fine. I love that. But for Marissa and Riley, I don't know. They were just so spicy and so fun. And
spicy that they were indeed.
Spicy indeed. And I mean, I knew from the very first date that they had. I mean, that was one of the spiciest first dates I've ever seen. Like there was just so much passion and so much chemistry right off the hop that I just thought, oh my gosh.
Whipped cream.
Borderline too much. As long as it's not sour cream, I think we can agree whipped cream is much better. But I just thought they're just straight up fun, and they kept things interesting. And like I said, from that very first date, there was so much passion and chemistry. And I don't know. I was always just so thrilled to see both of them, you know, interacting with each other. And even when there was concerns with them, we were all reassured when, you know, Riley started to open up about his family and his father. And I just thought that was very heartwarming. And I think I even texted David during that chat that, you know, here come the waterworks from Carson over here.
Yeah.
And for all those reasons kind of put together, I'm going to go with Marissa and Riley for my couple.
Yeah, so you took mine.
I'm sorry.
I don't have a backup because I didn't like any other couple as much as I liked them. So I'll just, I guess, provide other reasons why I like them. That last date that they had when Riley told Marissa about his fantasy of Sunday morning, that line, the most romantic thing that's ever been said on Bachelor in Paradise. Like, takes the cake. That Agreed. Was so beautiful. And just like you said, Carson, like just the way that like I felt like their relationship it just kept growing. Like, I don't feel like they had a moment where they were ever like stagnant. And I think that's why I liked them so much, because even though they were in this like paradise bubble and like on reality TV, I felt like they were taking like hitting real milestones that you would in a real relationship. Like, you know, they were having their first date. They had their like first time opening up to each other and like telling each other they loved each other. Like, it felt very like authentic. And I think that's also like a good predictor of their future success after the show, because they did lay so much groundwork and foundation while they were like kind of in paradise, essentially. And
which you don't often see, which is just goes to show how strong that relationship really is.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me of that quote, because that is such a beautiful quote. I know I bring it up a lot, but I don't rarely tear up when I watch things, especially this show. And Katie's season made me tear up once when Michael was talking about his ex-wife. And this was the other time when he said, "When I look at you, I see Sunday morning." That's the other time where I legitimately got teary-eyed. Like,
he's so authentic too. Like, someone, I don't mean to rip up, but it's just like, look, coming from Thomas, who you know, he could mean it sincerely, but people say stuff on this show, you know, knowing there's cameras there, knowing that you want to get a step further. It was so genuinely from the heart. Oh, it was beautiful. Yeah.
So moving along to best host. This is, I mean, the description speaks for itself. So I'll start it off with you, Carson.
Oh, I get to start this time. How do you feel about that one, David? I have two possible answers here, but I'm just going to go with one, just so we can spread it out. I'm going to go with Lance Bass as my favorite host of the season. Did I steal yours?
You stole mine too.
Didn't even write it back up. Didn't even write it back up.
I mean, because who else am I going to give it to? Lil Jon or David Spade? Is just not happening. Like, not to say that Lance Bass wasn't a really good host. I thought he was incredible. I'm pretty sure Lance Bass was there for that initial Riley and Marissa date.
Yeah, he was the host of the date.
He was the host of the date.
Oh, true. He just had to sit there and watch for a long time.
Strangely, just sat there and watched.
Yeah.
No, I just thought overall he was the best host that we had all season in terms of the guest hosts. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, honestly, the only point I had written down for him was he was the only host that had seen the show before, I think.
Oh, he's the only one who's seen an episode. Absolutely.
But if I can switch it up, because I should know, I think we're all skipping Wells here, because that might be a little bit, he's not really a guest star host, but
he was my other option.
Yeah. I gotta go with Titus Burgess, because
he was good too.
If you've watched, and I also got to redeem myself because I completely butchered it. I said I'm not familiar with his work. I don't know who he is. I'm sorry. Like, I know his face. I think he's on the Kimmy Schmidt show. Fair enough. I butchered his name, and people let me know. I forget what I called. I think I called him Tyrell Burgess.
Tyrell.
And let me explain where my mind went. Ty Burrell is on Modern Family. So I combined.
He combined his first name and last name together into Tyrell.
Like, so what a dummy. So Titus, I know you're watching this right now, and I'm sorry, my man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Titus was good as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, I also had Lance Bass. So I guess I'll just provide other reasons again. Yeah. I felt like I like that he involved himself in the conversations. Like, I felt like when he first got there, I remember he sat down with the girls at breakfast and he was like, what's the tea? Who likes who? What's going on? And I like an involved host. Like, I like someone that actually like feels like they care what's happening of the show they're hosting. And he also, like, when Natasha was still trying to figure out Brendan and like he wouldn't kiss her and like all this extra stuff. If you remember, Lance sat down with Natasha and was like, here's some advice. Like, let's talk this out, strategize how you can kiss Brendan. And I really enjoyed that he was like so hands-on and seemed to really like care about the cast and like their relationships they were forming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent point.
He was very clearly like a fan of the show, but he actually took the hosting role quite seriously.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Paradise is a vehicle where like it kind of does make sense to be able to, you can sit down with the cast at breakfast and get the gossip and
it's more of a casual environment for sure to allow for that. Whereas David Spade had to ask Wells, what happened last night?
Yeah.
Which is like funny in its own way, but I'm glad we got that out of the way early. It's like I don't want like I don't want that happening once I'm invested in the relationship.
Couples,
exactly. Yeah. Okay, so then we have most likely returnee. So this is someone who has unfinished business with the franchise, and that we predict will return next time or like next season to like continue their journey. So I'll pass it back to you, David, to get us started.
All right, and this one, so I flirted with going with my boy Ed because I think Ed seems like a guy who's going to come back maybe 8 or 9 times, but I'm going with Queen Demi because she posted. I saw she made a post the other day. It was like, "Oh, I'm never going back to Paradise unless they ask me, in which case I will." I didn't realize until a couple weeks ago they get paid to go on Paradise to come back, and so this is like a little summer gig for Demi. Take a few months off. I don't know what, selling hair vitamins.
Being an influencer,
the tough job, and go do it on a beach for a little while. And so I think she's always going to have something to add, in my opinion. I don't know how strong her fan base is, because whenever we say something about her, we don't really get a lot of bad feedback. But I will say, I don't really know how much more she can add. Honestly, I think we've kind of wrung that fruit dry a little bit. But I think she will be back, whether she has anything to add or not. I think she will be back.
Yeah, I think Demi will always think that Demi has something to add.
Whether
or not Bachelor Nation agrees, Demi will have a different opinion.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I think this pains me to say this. My choice is going to have to go to Connor B. And I'm going to say that personally, I've seen enough of Connor B. But I think that his lust for the spotlight is just going to make him like a prime choice to return.
You think he's like a cloud chaser?
I don't know if I think the man loves to be loved online.
I think that's what it is too. I think he just likes, not necessarily just attention, but he's I don't know about a people pleaser, but he likes positive
like feedback.
Positive feedback about him. And
okay. I think Demi is like, let's get me as big as possible. We just craft 1 million followers, blah, blah, blah. I think Connor's more like, I want a hub of people who think I'm the good guy. Yeah, and he didn't necessarily come off like the hero. So I think he's like, okay, I'm going back and finishing my story.
Yeah. That's
interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's very interesting because I don't think this is the show where he's going to find love.
Nope.
Like he could come back, but I don't think his people are on this show.
I couldn't agree more.
Neither do we. Yeah. Go hang out in the teacher's lounge. I think your person is teaching music down the hall. I don't think they're on the beach. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so my most likely returnee, maybe a little bit slept on. I put Tammy. She honestly grew on me this season. I did not like her on Peter's season. I thought she was like very obnoxious. So coming into this season, I was like, okay, here we go. But I thought she was very like, she's a good narrator. You know, when drama's going down, she's in there in her confessionals, giving us the tea, like breaking it down for us. I feel like she also has like a good eye for like BS, and she kind of sees through like when someone's trying to play her, like get one over on her. And I'm genuinely invested in her journey of love now. Like since I now like her as a person, I'm like, okay, I want to see who you end up with.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate me later, Brianna.
Oh, no.
Hate me later. Wait on it.
Oh no.
I know, like she's funny. She's also funny. Like she has a genuine sense of humor that does come across in the confessionals too. No, I like that pick a lot. I think we will definitely see Tammy back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
so then we have best moment. So I will pass it back to you, Carson, to start us off.
Alrighty. I can almost guarantee this is not one anyone will pick. I don't know if this is the best singular moment, but a moment that I really enjoyed that kind of kept reoccurring. And it has to go to Kenny and his his facial expressions when he got himself he dug himself into a hole pretty much.
Yeah.
It was always filled with like bewilderment and confusion as to how he found himself in the situations he was in, specifically in a love square with Mari, Demi, and then Tia eventually all at once. And he'd always be just sitting like on a log or a chair on the beach, and his face would just be kind of scrunched, and he'd be just so confused and overwhelmed with how he's got himself in there. Such a genuine confusion.
He would have his mouth hanging open. Like Mari would be sitting there like, you were hanging out with Demi, he'd be like... in disbelief. He'd be like, me?
Yeah, especially with the confusion of when Mari suggested that they see other people, or how he interpreted that. I felt bad for him in the moment, but it was too good to not choose that as my moment.
All right, Brianna, you might plug your ears for this one. I felt bad. I feel bad, right? But it's just, honestly, if people want insight into my heart, well, here you go. So it sounds bad when I read it, but it's Tammy crying post breakup with Thomas.
That was the best moment.
I thought it was the funniest thing ever, but because of several key lines, she goes, "You're my best friend." No, he's not. You've known him for 3 days. He's your best friend.
Yeah, that was out of bounds. I didn't know where that came from.
At this point, it's just you just got to simply get to know more people. Then you got to join a pottery class. You got to join a pickup basketball league. You just got to meet some more people. If a dude you've known for 3 days is your best friend. We also on our channel find it hilarious when people throw the Hail Mary pass and trying to like get someone at the end. And hey, to be fair, Thomas did the same thing. Hey, Becca, you're leaving? Well, I'm falling in love with you. Like, I love that every time. So she throws that out. Then it just killed me. Thomas goes, there's just something missing. She goes, well, what's missing? He goes, well, there's just something that's more stable. And he's talking about Becca, obviously. And she goes, more stable with us? No, that's why he's breaking up with you. Not more stable with you. What are you talking about? But the best thing to me, and I do like Tammy, I had warmed up to her greatly this season. But if Tammy saw a girl crying on the beach after knowing someone for 3 days, she would be ripping them apart. She'd be saying, oh, put on your big girl pants. She would be laughing in the confessionals saying, how are you crying over a guy after 3 days? So the pure irony killed it for me. Is it my favorite moment? Your Sunday, you feel like Sunday morning, or Joe and Serena's proposal probably warmed my heart more. But in terms of pure hilarity, it was Tammy's breakup.
Okay. I see the perspective. And I will add, during that moment when someone told Aaron, they were like, oh yeah, Tammy's crying because Thomas broke up with her, and he was like, good.
He wanted like a champagne flute of her tears in that moment. Yeah.
Okay, so mine, based on y'all's feelings about this person, I don't know if y'all will agree, but my best moment was Connor modeling his fit on the beach when he came out to talk to, I guess it was Marissa, and he came out in his like jumpsuit, and everyone was like gassing him up. Like I just felt like it was fun. Like it was a fun moment. Like he looked good. Everyone, it was just a fun moment to me.
That's a great moment. And I guess you're getting an insight into a little bit of my dumb sense of humor, but I also found it funny later of like, just the image of you can't be heartbroken in an outfit like that though. Like he's sitting there pouting on a palua in his
with a jumpsuit.
It's like, bro, you got to go up and change if you're going to be pouting all day in that thing. That's not a sad boy outfit. But that was amazing when he is modeling it around.
I agree.
Especially when the guys are giving it like nicknames, and Wells is roasting him in a fun little way too. That was really, really good.
Yeah. Okay, so our last award, we have the worst moment. So this moment goes to like anything that was like the most cringy, boring, overly dramatic, just like anything that was just not it. So I can't remember who started it off.
I think it's David's turn to start.
David's turn.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
This one, I hope I might be stealing it from Carson. To me, I don't even need to give an explanation. It's hearing Kendall say butthead the first time,
took it.
and then it's hearing her say this worst moment. That was the second worst moment, and then the worst moment was hearing her say it a second time. Dear Lord, I mean, my face was almost stuck permanently in a cringe position. I took years off my life, I swear to God. Sorry, Coop, I should have known.
That's so funny. And you know what? This award took me the least amount of time to figure out too. I saw worst moment. I said, "Oh, it's when she said, 'Hey, butthead.'" Yeah. I thought that you might go with her coming down to the beach at the end.
Butthead was worse, dude.
Part of me, butthead is far worse,
yeah,
for sure. Saying "Hey, butthead," in front of a group of your peers, what are we doing? What are we doing?
The worst part to me is that then later she used it in a negative way.
Well, that's just it.
Is it a positive or a negative?
We don't know what that butthead even means.
That must be the most confusing house to be in a relationship with. She'll come home one day and be like, "Hey, butthead, what'd I do?" She's like, "No, I'm happy with you." The next day.
Yeah, worst moment for me too.
All right.
So my moment is very niche. I don't know if you guys will remember it, but okay. So do you guys remember when James was talking to Victoria P, like episode 1 or 2? And they were just like getting to know each other, chit-chatting. When I tell you, this moment lives rent-free in my head. Victoria P, they're talking about their morning routine. She goes, "Yeah, so I live in Louisiana. We wake up." He's like, "Yeah, cool." And she's like, "Then we go out. Do you go outside to pee?"
I do remember this.
That's a great
James,
call. Wow.
It was so funny to me because she had been asking him normal questions up until that point. Like, how do you take your coffee? Like normal stuff. And I could tell he was ready for another normal question. And she comes out with that and he's like, like he does not know how to process what she just said to him. So that moment is very random, but I think about it every single day.
I totally forgot about that. That should have been his red flag. You should have ran then. You could have saved yourself some time, my man.
Honestly.
But that's my only dating rule. If a girl ever asks me if I wake up and go to pee outside, bye.
I'm out.
Have a good life.
Asked.
Yeah, no questions asked. Oh, that's a great one.
Yes. So that wraps up all of our awards. Excuse me. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Again, you can find them on the Run Amuck YouTube channel. Is there any other social media, other platforms you both want to promote or where we can find you?
Yeah, so the podcast is presented by Juncture Magazine. So it's at JUNKTURE Magazine on Instagram. It's a mood board. So if you like pages like 90s anxiety, stuff like that, then you'll like Juncture Magazine. Just a mood board, daily posts from whether it's movies, TV, music, sports, etc. Give that a follow. Otherwise, just the YouTube. Coop, you got anything?
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
You
baby.
Summed it up.
Does it for the purity of the commentary.
That's right.
Awesome. So Run Amuck Podcast and the Juncture Magazine Instagram. So thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Absolute pleasure. A lot of fun.